Hey, what's good, everybody? It's me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, and you're watching Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Joining me, as always, for my co-host from the Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks podcast, Rebellious D and Double OT, Terrific Trav. How you fellas doing today?
Chill. I miss when D used to do the,
I do. I switch it up, man. I can't do the same thing.
Baby?
Pull out arrows. No, ready to rock.
Hey, we got an anniversary coming up here soon. This is about to be D's 2-year anniversary. Trav, are we doing anything special for him?
Not renewing my contract, hopefully.
Nah,
D's already
been here since 2020.
Oh, okay. Dang.
See, Trav, don't see D. I knew.
It's okay.
D, hey, I'll get you some ramen.
That sounds great, actually.
Make sure you go to the right shop, though.
Oh, yeah. This guy. Here we go.
Okay.
Joining us on today's episode, because we are celebrating International Women's Month here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks, and we are about to bring you guys, all of the up-and-coming women that are in the voice acting game right now, and some that have been around for a minute. And we're celebrating them on the channel because they're awesome people. And joining us today is Miss Kelly Baskin. Kelly, how are you doing today?
I'm doing so well. How are y'all doing?
Hey, I'm doing fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us up here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks.
Thank you for having me.
Right, bunch of spider punks up here.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
So before we get into today's interview, make sure that you like this video, you subscribe to the channel, and you hit that bell button so that way you're always notified when we have new content here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. And D, like you say every time,
podcast in the description. Like, follow, subscribe to the channel, and thank you all for watching. And everybody who's listening, when you see that like button, if you're watching through YouTube, ask it and tell it that you're looking for the Traveler. And before it has a chance to respond, click it. Click.
That's all you gotta do.
It's a Genshin Impact thing, man. You'll know one day.
I'm just like, who's the Traveler?
Will I know? Will I know one day?
Is it Michael?
It's pretty instant as soon as you play it.
Oh,
no, it's not Michael. Not this sound.
So Kelly, again, thank you so much for joining us. Something that we do up here with all of our guests is we ask, what is your origin story? Every hero or villain has an origin story. So tell everybody who you are.
Hey, I am Kelly Baskin. I'm from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Woo woo, Southern. I actually went to a performing arts high school in Chattanooga, Tennessee. So I majored in musical theater, actually, from like 8th grade until I graduated as a senior. And then I went to Columbia College, Chicago, and I got a BFA in musical theater performance. And then once I graduated from there, I was working in Chicago doing theater, but I was also a fitness instructor, and I ended up getting vocal nodes. So people have always asked me, they're like, oh, like Pitch Perfect? I hadn't seen Pitch Perfect, so I had to watch it to be like, yes, like Pitch Perfect. Like Julie Andrews, like Adele, like, it's where you get, if you don't know, where you get calluses on your vocal folds, and so they don't vibrate properly, and then you can't produce sound properly. So I ended up not really being able to speak for a while, much less sing. So I got into some speech therapy, and then I was working with a specialized voice teacher, and I thought, oh, well, while I can't sing and while I can't really talk, I went ahead and I took the entire writing program at Second City in Chicago. And then I graduated that writing program. And then when I could talk and I couldn't really sing, I was like, well, I still want to keep doing something while I'm recovering. So I guess I'll take a voiceover class in the meantime, right? And like, maybe I'll do voiceover on the side after I get back into musical theater. And then I took a few voiceover classes. I made a demo, got an agent, and I was like, wait a second, I love this. So I decided to, do voiceover full time, or rather at that time, pursue voiceover full time. And I let go of musical theater, although it's still near and dear to my heart. And that's the condensed version, I guess.
I love it.
Hey, we love it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you wanted to do the long version, and if it would have took you an hour, that would have been fine. You know what I'm saying? But the condensed version is cool too. What do they do in the comic books where it's just like, check out chapter 332 to get the full story? So yeah, make sure you check out that chapter. But I wanted to ask you, when it comes to, doing musical and stuff again, is that something that you may get back into one day?
That's a really good question. Maybe. I think it would have to be the right show and the right company, the right time. All the stars would have to align. When I was doing musical theater in Chicago, it was a lot of time commitment for not a lot of money, right? So I was working multiple day jobs on top of following my passion of musical theater. And at some point, it's just not sustainable anymore. So if I wanted to get back into it, again, I think just stars would have to align and it would have to be the perfect everything.
See, now I'm glad that we're here right now because I know Trav, he's our theater guy, and he usually asks the theater questions and whatnot. But I do like musicals myself. I just recently watched Tick Tick Boom.
Me too. And, I just watched it recently.
It was a good movie. It's like my friend, Lady On, she kept recommending it to me, and just the message behind it where it's just like, being able to accomplish everything that you want to do because you never know when it's going to be your time to go. And it was crazy because like, I've always been a fan of Rent, but I never knew that John Larson was the guy who created Rent. Cause it's like, I never looked, it's weird, but when it comes to voice acting, I look and see who voices this character, but for the musicals, I don't look to see who created the musical. And so when I was watching the movie, I was getting Rent vibes from it. And I was just like, oh, wow, like this is the guy that created Rent. So it makes sense. And when you had just said like you were doing all of this stuff on the side and, sometimes it's like it works out. Sometimes it doesn't, you know what I'm saying? But I'm glad that you found something else to do and you got into voice acting and, just looking at some of the stuff that you've done, it's awesome. You know what I'm saying? I've started taking some voice acting classes recently as well. And yeah, thank you.
I love it.
Thank you. And I just know that it's something that's cool to do because, you may look at it as a hobby and then it's just like, no, I think that I can work with this and I can get into it full time, just like how you did.
Yeah. Oh, I love that you're taking voiceover classes.
Thank you. I'm taking the classes.
What else do you do, Banks? What else do you do? What else do you do?
Well, first I was going to say the teacher of the class, and that is, Mr. Matthew David Rudd, whose interview you can find here on our YouTube channel, or you can listen to it on the podcast. And Trav, since you interrupted me, you might as well go ahead and say what else I do.
Oh, I don't know what you do. I need you to tell me.
D, do you know what he's talking about?
Yeah, I think I know what he's hinting at, and that's the fact that you're a professional wrestler.
That's right. I almost forgot. Yep. I ain't been reminded in a while. I haven't been reminded in a while, so.
I don't like to just throw it out there.
You should. You should. You see my face? Like, that's amazing. Whoa.
But see, Kelly, it's not about me right now. It's all about you. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
But back to the musicals. Like, what are some of your favorite musicals?
Oh my goodness. I think a couple of my favorite musicals are my favorite because I was in them and because I had such a good experience with the people that I was working with. So I love Aida. Beautiful show. I love Crazy for You. Lots of tap dancing. I also really love a musical called Lucky Stiff. And there's one person who plays a dead guy the whole time, which I find hilarious. And then I also...
The title makes sense.
Right? Yes. And then, like you mentioned, like I loved Rent when it first... Yeah, I guess not when it first came out, but like when I was in high school, like a little musical theater nerd, I was like, Rent, like all of that. Wicked was like, whew. Hairspray, trying to think, like,
my favorite.
I love Hairspray. I do. I love it so much. And of course, I can't think of any others right now, but that's like a short list of some of my favorites. And some of them are like, oh, of course she's going to say Wicked, but it really meant a lot to me. And I saw it on Broadway. And I actually like 2 years ago, when I was teaching yoga, Shoshana Bean took my class and I saw her on Broadway as Elphaba in Wicked when I was like 15. And I told her, I normally don't do this, but I like pulled her, I saw her in the locker room and I was like, I just want to let you know, I saw you on Broadway and you changed my whole life. Now let's go take class. And I'm going to tell you, lift your leg and like stand up here and whatever. It's not awkward at all that I'm about to teach you. But short list. That's my short list.
That LA life.
See, I love that. And see, I get where you're coming from. And see, now, Trav, this is where I say I'm a professional wrestler because I was working out at the gym on Saturday. And, I'm just minding my business. And like this guy, he's just putting his pinky up. Like, that's my thing. Me and my tag partner were the Golden Pinky Society. And he comes up to me. He's just like, hey, aren't you Benjamin Banks? And I was just like, yeah, I am. And then he was just like, can I pinky you? And then we pinky. So, I mean, I get it. You know what I'm saying?
I love that.
That's what you're supposed to do. And, I'm glad that she was humble with it and you were able to talk to her and everything. I recently just saw Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. It came here to the Chrysler Hall here in Norfolk, and it was my first time actually seeing like a musical on stage and whatnot. And it was so
my man was
awesome.
looking sharp
too. What was funny is that I had went to this place called the Grilled Cheese Bistro afterwards. And like some of the cast and the stage crew, like they were there and like we were talking and whatnot. Cause I had on the top hat. I don't have the top hat here in the room with me, but hey, I went all out for the Willie.
That's right. You had your golden ticket. We saw it.
Yeah. I had the golden ticket and I was happy. So I'm looking forward to seeing some more musicals. I'm actually going to be going to New York to see Beetlejuice on Broadway. So I'm looking forward to that. Cause have you seen it?
No, but it sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
I'm trying to be like your boy Gon from Hunter x Hunter, and I'm just trying to keep on traveling and meeting new people. I already got Trav and D, and I got to add some more people to my party. So, Kelly, hopefully I make my way to you, and you could join the party too. It's
like
make
your way downtown.
Yes, actually, you just reminded me. One of the last musicals I saw before, everything was shut down. I saw Frozen when it came to LA. And I have to tell you, I have a degree in musical theater performance. That was one of the best stage shows I've ever seen in my entire life. There's one costume change that like I blinked and it was changed. And of course it's in Let It Go because obviously I do have to say like, if you ever have an opportunity to see it, don't think like, oh, it's cliche, I'll just pass it up. It was amazing.
I seen the video when she does it. They got the band on the back.
It's like,
okay. I saw that.
Oh my God.
That was dope.
I didn't know that was going to happen. So like after the show ended, I was like, how did they do that? And I was like searching for it and it was incredible. Yeah. It really reignited my love for musical theater because I needed a break. After a while, like I had spent so much time in that community and I came back and I was like, wow, I love musicals. Wow, oh my God. Like
they hit you with that Chris Angel. They didn't know how they did it.
Exactly.
Oh, snap. Well, I mean, since we're still here in the theater talk, Trav, I'll pass the ball to you.
I really don't. I mean, she already rambled off everything that I would have asked. I mean, I saw Tick Tick Boom too, and Andrew Garfield's amazing. He was he carried the Spider-Man movie. He carried the Spider-Mans, in my opinion. And hey, I'm just speaking truth, bro. I can't help it if every time Andrew Garfield's on screen, he puts on a 5-star performance. Man, it's not my fault.
I mean, he did. I mean, he does, but I wouldn't say that he carried the whole Spider-Man film, though.
I would though. I would say it. I mean,
Trav, you don't even know if Kelly's seen the movie.
She may not have, but you can take a good assumption what Andrew Garfield did when he got on screen, though.
That's exactly what I did. I assumed based off of your opinion. I do have to say, I don't know if any of y'all did this, but right after I watched Tick Tick Boom, I was watching it with my husband, and he was like, "Yeah, I mean, I saw Rent, like I guess when it came out, but I don't really remember." And I was like, "We're watching Rent right now." So like we watched Tick Tick Boom and then Rent, and so
stars?
I mean, I sobbed for what, like 5 hours watching Tick Tick Boom and Rent. It was a cathartic night. It was really, that was like 2 weeks ago. So
Rent is based off of my favorite opera, La Boheme. It's my favorite opera.
Love it.
That's right.
There he is.
Hey, Trav knows his mics. And he knows his
music. Right. I know my microphones and I know my operas.
I love
it. Go.
and that's the reason why
We know a guy.
But I wanted to move back into voice acting. I'm glad that we were able to, talk a little bit about theater, because usually we always get right into voice acting at the start. So that was nice.
You didn't just bring me on to talk about musicals?
I mean, I did. If you want to still talk about your origin story, you can.
No. I'm just kidding.
But yeah, going back into voice acting, how was it, getting your first role? What was the first thing that you had did when you got your foot in the door for voice acting?
The first job I had was a friend was working something at his company. They were making a video about a bike and that they made. And so he was like, hey, my girlfriend told me that you were in a voiceover. Like, do you want to voice this video? And I was like, hell yeah, I do. So I didn't get paid for it though, which I also don't recommend, but I did it. And I was like, oh yeah, this is great. And then my first paying job, which they're different, I was reached out to by one of my mom's friends from back home in Chattanooga, and he owns a marketing company, and he was like, oh, I'm making a commercial for this tourist attraction back home. I don't know if y'all have been to Chattanooga, but he was making a video or commercial for the Incline Railway. And little known secret, I lived in Chattanooga for like 14 years, and I have never been on the Incline Railway. But I was able to voice for something that, even though I haven't been on it, I was like, oh, like I'm representing my hometown. Like, this is so exciting. And it was like a connection that I had already had. So yeah, that was my first time. I was recording in a closet, and my setup was ridiculous. To be fair, I'm still recording in a closet, but my setup is a lot better. But yeah, those were my first. I like to group those together because it's like, oh, my first job and then my first paying job, because people assume that your first job was paying, but no, this is not the same.
No. Trust me. I know. No. When I started in the wrestling business, they was just like, we're gonna put you on the shows, but you doing it.
Get them hot dogs.
Hot dogs and the handshakes. Did y'all have that in voice acting? Like when it was non-paying?
Hot dogs?
Yeah, like
the good.
Right, so in wrestling, it's a joke because it's like they call it the hot dog and the handshake, because there will be times where the promoter, you go to get your money, and they're like, hey, the show was a little light tonight, but hey, we got some hot dogs, and they'll give you a
they'll get you some from the concession stand.
Yeah.
Oh,
man.
Oh no! If I'm promised money, I'm like, give me my money. But sometimes, a lot of people are like
gangster with it. Okay.
Look at this face. Yeah.
That's what we do in Chattanooga.
Came out.
But yeah, a lot of things like jobs when you first start out in voiceover, they're like, oh, like exposure, but that's for everybody who works in every
art
field.
job's like that.
Yes. And after a while you're like, oh yeah, like that totally makes sense. And after a while you're like, no, like I'm not gonna, if I was a dentist, I'm not gonna do work for exposure just so people will then come to me so they'll pay for it. They're like, well, if somebody comes to you once and you do something for free, then they kind of expect you to always do it for free. And especially for something like voiceover, it's funny because people are like, well, you're just talking, and I'm like, okay, well, you do it. Like, there is a nuance to it. That's why people train. That's why, like, oh, well, you just talk. Oh, you don't have a professional quality microphone or treated space. Well, it looks like you can't do it, right?
Yeah.
So
do what Kelly does.
Right. No one can. No, a lot of people can. But yeah, it is interesting. I think everybody who works in anything creative has to go through that. You're like, oh wait, maybe exposure isn't what I need. So yeah, I forget where I was going with that sentence, but don't work for exposure.
I think you would just
it's okay to snowball.
Yeah, nobody
We
talks
do.
about a Brita, water bottle like Kelly Baskin. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
That's all. That's all it is.
my first thought was, how did he know about that? And I was like, oh well, I mean, it's on the
Hey, we
internet.
know a guy that knows a guy. Ask
Trav
him. He
knows
can tell you.
everything.
I know. Huh?
But no,
That's
I
amazing.
agree with you, man. Like I know in wrestling, like there's times where it's just like they'll be like, yeah, come and wrestle for this company. I mean, it's one thing when you're younger and you're
Yeah.
first getting your foot in the door, and it's just like, yeah,
Mhm.
exposure, experience. But then it's just
Yeah.
like the older you get, and it's just like, yeah, we want you to drive 20 hours. We'll put you in the ring, and you'll get exposure. It's just like exposure.
At some point,
Yeah.
it's just not worth it.
Yeah,
You
you
know,
gotta
you're-
pull the trigger.
Yeah, and
You
you're like,
gotta know when to
I'd
do it.
rather work my day job than do
Yep.
this for exposure, because then I'm just doing more work for
Yep.
no money. Yeah, so it definitely has to be worth it. I mean, I've done like trades before, or I've done free things for like student projects or like for charity, or I volunteered my time, but yeah, there is a point where you're like, all right, no more. I don't want to be paid in exposure anymore. I don't need it. And even if you don't need it, or if you do need it, like you don't want it, like
That's right.
Mhm.
Gotta make
Alright,
that
so-
call. Gotta pull the trigger.
exactly.
Now I want to ask you,
Uh-huh.
because it's like, you were doing the stuff, the commercials and everything. How was it when you transitioned into getting into video game work? Like, did you think that it was going to be way harder than what you thought, or was it easy getting into?
That's a good question.
Thank you.
You are welcome. It was hard to get into video games because people there's two parts to this. It's hard to get into it because it's very much in a lot of industries, right? It is who you know, and people say that especially about Hollywood and Los Angeles, but it is because people want to make sure that they can trust you, right? It is like you would hire somebody that you have heard of before, that does good work, over somebody that you don't know, right? So it is hard to get into it because how do you get the auditions? Even when you get the auditions and you're sending them in, people don't know who you are. So it takes a long time. When people say, oh, I'll do voiceover on the side, I'm like, wow, that's hard. That's very hard, because you have to put in so much time to move an inch, if that makes sense, because a lot of what you do doesn't go noticed, right?
Yep.
Like I do, like all the things that like people might know me for, that's like a very small fraction of my time, and how I maybe got those roles or those opportunities, right? But it's putting yourself out there, networking, going to events, showing up and saying, hi, I'm a professional and I can get things done, and I can do this, and this, right? On the flip side, once I got into video games, I loved it, and I think that sometimes it's even easier than commercial work, because in commercials, one time I did maybe a 5 to 8 second tag on a commercial, and I went in for 2 sessions for
Wow, that's crazy.
maybe 3 or 4 hours total to say 15 words. So commercial clients might work you to death, which is totally fine. But in video games, I feel like you have a little bit more area to play because you're working on a character instead of just be a normal person, but not that kind of normal person, but not that kind of normal person, or this, whatever. But in video games, I find it a lot easier sometimes because I can play and I can be a little bit more creative than if I'm in a commercial session.
Right.
Now, and I wanted to piggyback off of something that you had said about when it comes to doing voice acting full time, because we've interviewed so many voice actors, and I think that it's interesting that when you finally get the ball rolling, it's something that you have to stay committed to. It's not something that you can just do on the side, because like you said, it's just like there's so many people out there and you want to be noticed. You want people to know who you are. And if you're only doing it on the side, there's sorry, I got flustered because I was about to say something that D always says, but it's so many people that's out there, and there's so many categories for anime, video games, and stuff like that. So it's just like if you're only doing it on the side, then nobody's ever going to know who you are. So this is something, if you really want to do, you have to give it your all.
It's a lot of time, money, and energy to just do part-time, I will say. When I was doing it part-time, and that was up until pretty recently. I didn't go full-time until I did not go full-time voiceover until July 2021.
Congratulations.
Thank you. That was only like 7 months ago.
Hey, way to commit, right?
Thank you. But I've been doing voiceover since 2014. Like it is very hard to do part-time. I did have the end goal in sight to do it full-time. But before everything shut down, I had 4 day jobs, and I was doing all of my, quote unquote free time. I was devoting to this career that I was hoping to make full time. And like, that's just it is a lot of work to just be part-time. Like now that I'm full time, I'm still doing everything that I was doing before, but now I just don't have my day jobs getting in the way.
That's it. Now, I wanted to slide in a question right here. If you had one bit of advice to anybody trying to start up, would it be to be patient? Would it be to just work on your craft? What would you say, Ms. Go? Be patient, and be kind to yourself. There you go. And don't compare. So it's kind of a threefold. I find a lot of people, especially in creative fields, we compare to each other. Well, this person's doing this, or that person got that role, and I'm just doing this, and it doesn't mean that your time's not coming. So being patient and having a good time with the process, because honestly, like, getting into voiceover takes a long time. I won't even try to sugarcoat it. Like, it takes, unless, there are some people who are like, wow, I just got cast in this thing, and like, good for them. But that is kind of the exception.
It's rare.
And it is. And like, you can't go into it thinking that you're going to be the exception. So I would say, for the most part, statistically, it'll take a long time, and that's okay. It really is okay. And to follow your passion, right? Like, I don't do every single genre of voiceover, because I think a lot of people can get I can't talk right now, can get caught in the trap of, I have to do everything, or I'm an actor, so I can do anything and everything. And, there's a certain extent of truth to that. You can do a lot, right, as an actor, but none of us can do everything. And there are some genres that I just don't work in because, one, maybe I don't have an interest in it, and two, there are people who are killing it in that genre who love it. So, if I'm not really that interested in that genre, I'm going to leave it for people who are really, really into it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does. And I want to piggyback off of that, because in the voice acting class that I'm in, one of the other classmates, they had asked, because we're just reading scripts from like cartoons and stuff like that. And they was asking, like, what's the difference between reading scripts from cartoons and then reading scripts from anime? And like how you was just saying, like, so many categories, so many ranges. One of the things that Matthew David Rudd said was, like, if you can take anime voice classes and get good in that, then you'll be able to do anything. Because he said that doing cartoons is a lot easier than doing anime, because with anime, like, you have to match the flaps and all that stuff, and it's definitely hard. So I just wanted to say that because you were talking about that. Yes, no, it is. I haven't done too many animes myself, but like I have done dubbing, and it's all kind of under the same umbrella. It's very hard. It is very hard to like match the lip flaps, because also in like live action dubbing, I'm dubbing like a human person in real life, and like that can stretch their mouth, and they have teeth, and they have a real tongue and everything. So it is a little easier when it's animated, or like in anime where their mouth is just going like open close, right? But in live action, you're like, wait, their tongue was out. Oh, how can we adapt it and say something else so that their tongue is out or something like that? So yeah, it is. That's interesting. I haven't really heard somebody say that before, but I totally agree. I totally agree, because when you do a lot of animation, like, they animate
the character's mouth around your voice.
Yeah.
And when you're doing anime and any other kind of dubbing, it's already there. The shapes are already there and the timing is already there. So being able to, if you learn how to do it like in a short amount of time and keeping up with the lip flaps, then moving over to animation, you have free reign. And, you know, that can also be a little overwhelming too, but it is it is technically easier for sure. Yeah, nice. I like that.
So,
thank you.
You know, since we're here, and because I wanted to pass the ball to D, what are some animes, video games, or cartoons that you would love to work on?
Oh my goodness. I feel like I should have prepared for that question. So many. I will say, okay, I'm going to start with anime. I am starting my anime journey now, as in like watching it, right? So I grew up like a theater kid, and like I spent all of my free time tap dancing and having singing lessons. And so now I'm getting into watching more anime. So if you have any suggestions, I'm on my anime journey. Please feel free to send them to me. Amazing.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yes. Okay. Like, email all of this to me, and I have a list. I've started like an anime watching list, and I'm asking people. But I will say, I didn't watch too much anime when I was a kid, but I did really love Sailor Moon, and then being able to work on Sailor Moon, like I got to voice like 2 smaller characters, and I was dying. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. So like I feel like I've already achieved my anime dreams of
yeah, all right.
But yeah, so animes, I'm still starting my journey there, so I don't know those yet, but I am very happy to say that like I like almost fell out of my booth when I got to voice on Sailor Moon, so that was so cool.
Yeah, I mean it is a pretty
before you
topic.
Move on, who's your favorite Sailor Scout? Or should I say Sailor Guardian?
Sailor Venus.
Hey, okay.
All right. We'll take that here.
We'll take that.
2 points. 2 points to Gryffindor.
Yes, Gryffindor. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'm Gryffindor.
I'm a of course he is. I'm a Ravenclaw, so.
Force trap.
And
Slytherin.
So Gryffindor.
No, I'm just kidding. Slytherin. Nah,
I think like you're serious.
I think Voldemort is one of the best villains ever created.
He's that's so why him and Mike diabolical. Were, so related.
I mean, oh yeah, of course.
I just rewatched all the Harry Potter movies.
Oh, I actually I had a long weekend for my job, so I was just been around the house. My son had a competition up in Fredericksburg, so when we got home, I was just kind of binging. I watched the first 2.5.
Yeah, they've been playing them on TV all weekend too.
Yeah, hey, HBO got me covered, Trav. You know they do. I just put them on.
I still gotta watch the second
fun movies. Yeah.
You haven't watched what movie?
Huh?
Ooh.
Hey, we don't talk about Bruno. Yeah, we don't talk about movies that Banks ain't seen yet.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but we're talking about Harry Potter. I'm confused.
Yeah.
Hang on, Kelly. This guy, it's something we didn't disclaim when we offered to have you on.
I'm so sorry. I have to go. This has been the good.
I mean, all right. So Kelly, I grew up in a religious household, so I wasn't able to watch.
He loves that excuse.
I mean, but it's a good excuse, though. I mean,
I guarantee
it is a good excuse. It is,
but I guarantee you, if we call Mama Banks,
now look, okay. So I mean, we were just
talking about watch anime, but not Harry Potter.
Well, no, we were just talking about anime. So certain anime I could watch, like Dragon Ball Z. I could watch.
Yeah. Funny. I want to piggyback off of his statement too.
Pokemon, I could watch, but I remember Yu-Gi-Oh. I was over my aunt's house one day, and she had saw the Millennium Puzzle, and she was like, "That's the Illuminati. You're not watching that in my house." So I couldn't watch it. You know. And then I'll always remember it was Final Fantasy IX. And I had printed out some Game Shark codes. And if you don't know what Game Shark is, that's before your time.
Okay.
For the OGs.
Yeah, that's the OG. Okay. So I had printed out some Game Shark codes, and my uncle, he was looking what I was printing out, and he was just like, Chimera. He was just like, "Do you know what a Chimera is?" And I was like,
God.
I said, "Yeah, it's a monster in the Final Fantasy game." Yeah. So I wasn't allowed to play Final Fantasy over his house. So yeah.
It's
I
interesting.
just watched the first Harry Potter movie, and I need to watch the second one. And
well, I'm excited for this journey. I'm so excited for this journey.
He actually recently just watched Pirates of the Caribbean too for the first time. The first one. He hasn't seen the rest of them. Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god.
That's the reaction that I tend to get.
Well, you know what? Late to the part. You know what? I am one to talk, because ask me if I've seen some movies or played video games or seen anime, and I will disappoint you. So I am just so excited that you have watched the first Harry Potter. I'm so excited you have watched the first Pirates of the Caribbean, and I'm so excited for both journeys.
Yeah, that's what I told him.
You should have been here in January when I was watching all the Disney movies for the first time.
What do you mean?
Yeah,
you continue to shock me. I don't understand. What do you mean?
That statement says
all of the Disney movies, all like
a lot of them.
I had never seen Monsters Inc., Monsters University.
Okay.
University is kind of recent.
Are we talking about like the Little Mermaid and the Lion King?
Oh no, I saw it.
Okay.
The '90s stuff.
But anything after that,
all the 2000 stuff is the stuff that I didn't see, and I was stuck at home with COVID, so I was just like, hey. I'm gonna watch all these Disney movies that I've never seen, and some of them were good, some of them were just like, but I enjoyed it, and I still right now I'm watching Studio Ghibli, the Harry Potter stuff. I need to start Lord of the Rings, and
no, you need to finish Pirates of the Caribbean. Lord of the Rings pretty long.
Yes, I agree. Don't
hop around.
You're already in a bunch of worlds right now, and I have to say, Lord of the Rings is like it's good, but it is long.
I think
like
Lord
a
of the
video
Rings
game. It's just like, Banks, what world are you going to go to today? And I'm just like,
Lord of the Rings is just visually cool. That's what I'll say about it. They're super long, but it's just like the world that they created is amazing looking. I mean, the shooting locations and all that. Yeah.
But I think you really have to pay attention. If you're not paying attention, you will not catch up, and you will have to rewind. So get through Harry Potter, stay on that track. Pirates is pretty easy to keep up with.
Yeah.
And then
fast pace.
Finish those things, and then you can set your sights on Lord of the Rings, because it does take. It not only it takes a while, but it takes a minute to wrap your head around all of the characters and wait, who is what is that wasn't a sentence, but
great point.
It's crazy because that's how I feel about certain animes and whatnot. And I know that you had said some animes that you would like to lend your voice to, but what are some cartoons or video games? I mean, I know that you've been in. Yeah, what are some cartoons or video games? There we go.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm trying to think. I think I might actually literally die if I could voice in Bob's Burgers.
Ooh.
I would just
the movie's coming. Bob's Burgers.
What did you just say?
Yeah, there's a Bob's Burgers movie's coming out.
God, I didn't know. This is so exciting. Oh man. Okay. Oh my God. Wait, Rick and Morty. Oh my God. Again, I would die. Archer. Obviously, love H. John Benjamin. Yes, I do. I love a lot of the adult animation. I will say, kids animation. If I could voice a pony in My Little Pony, oh my God, that would be so fun. It's funny because I obviously got really excited about some of the franchises, but I don't focus too much on franchises. I'm not. Unless it's Bob's Burgers, obviously. But I get really excited about the type of character that I can voice. If I could voice a villain, I think that would be really fun, because that's not something that I'm cast as a lot. I wonder why, huh? What? I sound like a villain. I'm mean.
Yeah.
I think about the characters themselves, I guess, more than the franchise, if that makes sense, because I also think that's a little more attainable. And I like to keep my goals pretty realistic and pretty, SMART goals, like that acronym. And so I think it is a lot more attainable to say I want to voice a villain that uses this kind of voice or whatever, as opposed to, I want to be in the series. Because what if the series ends? Right. And then man, my dream just went down the toilet and now I have nothing to work towards,
Well, I think I think shows like She-Ra or Avatar, like you could
Oh my
definitely
god, I'm
voice.
watching Avatar.
Yeah, you got a perfect
For the first
voice to
time?
voice a villain on those kind of shows.
Hold on, Trav. Hold on, Rondale. For the first
Oh.
time?
What?
Are you watching Avatar for the
Are you
first
watching
time?
Avatar for the first time?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Because
not-
all she told us. It's on. Hey, I just watched
Hey.
it for the first time back in 2021, so you're good.
Exactly.
I mean, not
Amazing.
2021, 2020. Yeah, so yeah, you're good.
Still amazing.
He just wants to
Yes.
feel a little better about himself. So
I do feel
It's
better
okay.
because
It's okay. I'm on the late train too. You know, like we're on time or we're ahead on some things, and sometimes we're a little late, but that's okay because
Right.
we're on the train.
That's right.
Yeah,
The late
Banks
train,
train.
not the Banks train,
The-
but
no,
the late
the
train.
Banks train.
The late
Uh-huh.
train.
Trav, he hanging off the back of this one.
That's right.
No.
He had a little sidecar thingy. No, but Miss Kelly, I wanted to ask, you wanted us to email you some recommendations. My follow-up to that would be, what genre do you particularly like when it comes to movies or
Okay,
like
people
best movies?
ask me this, but
Yeah.
I especially in anime, I'm just really interested in watching the shows that people like that you should watch. Does that make
Yes.
sense? Like
Okay, yeah, of course.
like what are the classics and the
Okay. That's
like
it.
oh my god, you like just like we were with like Harry
Mhm.
Potter and Pirate, like
Mhm.
you haven't seen this?
Yeah.
Like
Right.
that's
Yep.
I would like to get less of those reactions when I say
Hell
I
yeah.
have or haven't seen something.
See, now
Um,
I feel good. Now I don't feel like I'm alone. You know? what I'm
No, you're not alone. No.
Thank
And
you.
and I I know that I had a big reaction because to me I'm like, oh my god, you haven't seen that, but no shame, no
Mhm.
shame. Like
Yeah.
I didn't. Again, I was busy tap dancing in high school,
Yeah.
so like this is my time now to get into my
Yeah.
anime phase.
Exactly.
And there's
See, you
nothing.
Banks was at
There's
the
nothing
altar.
wrong with that.
He was.
Hey, 3 Days Grace told you it's not too late. It's never too late. So
Yes.
Take what you can,
Yes.
give
Yeah.
nothing back.
That's right. I just taught him that line.
Hey, I said it right for the first time.
Yes. Finally, we've been rehearsing that all week.
Fine.
What was I saying?
Take whatever you can.
that sounds like
that.
something he would say. Take whatever you can and give him nothing. World's #1 hero, right
Yeah.
there.
Take it
But
easy,
yeah, hey,
Trav.
Kelly, My Hero Academia and Demon Slayer, like
Yes.
those are two animes.
I would give
Those
her
are
some
literally
of
on my
the
list.
older ones. I think
I
she
want
might
it.
enjoy Tenchi Muyo.
Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah,
Cowboy
give her some of the.
Bebop.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
literally writing. I'm trying to write it down. What
We'll
did you
send, we'll
say?
send you the email. I'll make sure that
Yeah.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventures at the top of the list. though.
Whoa.
Yes,
whoa,
yes.
whoa.
I could start that this week.
For me, I always tell people to watch movies first and series. I always feel like
Oh,
getting into movies is a little bit easier.
okay.
You
Well,
know,
I was gonna say Akira, but I don't.
I was gonna say watching your
her rating,
Akira.
You know.
Howl's Moving Castle.
Yes.
If
of
you're looking to
course.
cry, Grave of the Fireflies.
Hey, no question. That's why I asked
That's
about
not
the
on
genre.
anywhere though. I'm surprised because
They all on HBO Max.
no, that I'm surprised because like I'm watching all of the Studio Ghibli movies and Grave of the Fireflies isn't up there.
Oh, it
I'm
was up
surprised.
there.
Like they
Wow.
have every other movie.
I
Except
could have
that.
sworn I'd seen it up there too. Maybe
was
they
up there.
taking it off.
They probably took it off.
They're always
Yeah.
switching
They
around.
cycle stuff out.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yep.
How them rights go.
You-
Mhm. But
Yeah, of course.
you know, D, like I had said earlier, I
Mhm.
wanted to pass the ball to you because we were talking
Okay.
about video games,
yes.
and you play a video game that Kelly
Yes, I
is
do.
in.
Yes, I do, and that would be Genshin Impact. I've been on since once it released, and I'm still currently heavily playing it week to week.
Amazing.
It's funny because all I hear is your character right now,
Oh yeah.
which is Amber.
Yep.
And it's funny because she's one of the first characters you actually acquire. I think she's the first one, and
she's the
kind
first
of
unlockable character.
yeah, and I think she's kind of like the first. Like you don't have to go out and get her. Like I
Mm-mm.
think you get her after doing so many quests.
Yeah.
And she's still one of my favorite ones to run, depending on what I'm doing. And I can hear the voice matchup. It's pretty crazy. But have you seen any of the gameplay from your scenes and stuff? And I always tell people that it's visually a very good game to watch, and the voice acting is it's great. I think they're so spot on. It's just one of those things. Like if it were a show, I would probably watch it too.
Yeah.
But what was it like working on the project?
Oh my goodness. Well, yes, you're right. The game is beautiful.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
It's just,
like whenever I was recording, you know, the English was not recorded first, so like we got to see the world, and it's just so beautiful. So I got an audition, like you do, you know.
Yep.
I got a few emails from my agent, and they were like, oh, hey, you know, here's a video game audition. These characters are due, you know, 2 days from now or whatever. And so I think in one of my first interviews, I misspoke. I only remember auditioning for Amber, but I went like after I said that, I was like, I could be wrong. So I went back in my email and I actually auditioned for a few other characters too. But now I'm like, I feel like my memory has like blocked it out so much. I can't even remember. Like I even went back to look, and now I can't remember which ones I auditioned for. So I definitely auditioned for Amber. I saw the sides, and there were only like 4 lines. And as somebody who really likes to beat things into the ground until they're perfect, that is one of my challenges. I actually saw these sides, and I was like, oh, well, this is what she sounds like. Duh. Like I really don't have, like, sometimes I'll send in like 2, and I can't remember if I did or not. Sometimes I'll send in like 2 takes, and it'll be a little different, or it'll be a lot different. And this one I was like, maybe I'll just send in the 1, or if I sent in 2, they were probably very similar. Because I was just like, I can't hear her any other way. And to me, like, okay, this is what she sounds like, and if that's not what the client thinks she sounds like, then I'm just not meant to play this character, which is totally fine. But yeah, I was like, well, I'm very confident in this one, so if I get it or not, oh well. And you know, sent it off. And then video games take a while, so after a couple months, I got another email that was like, oh, you have a callback. And I was like, oh, great. So I got to work I got to go in and work with the director, which, you know, Chris File is amazing and great. And so we did that. And then maybe like a month later, again, I was like, oh, well, I didn't hear anything, so I guess I didn't book it. But like a month later, I got an email and it said booked. And I was like,
nice.
What? Like, I remember exactly where I was too. And at the time, like I had no idea how big this game was going to end up being. It could have been,
that's what everybody says.
Yes. Like, and for somebody who, I am also still in my new video game era, because again, way too much time tap dancing and not enough time playing video games. So I'm kind of getting into it now, but I had no indicators that this game was any different from, you know, just like a small mobile game, or maybe you know, no clue. So but I had been trying to get into video games. So, and I had worked on a couple, but it's like, oh, can you be like scientist number 3 and like girl on the street? I had never had like a name in a video game.
Character.
Yes. So, and again, I had no idea who Amber was in this story or this game, but I was like, oh yes, I booked a name character.
That's right.
And I was in my garage going down in my car, probably going to teach yoga, and I started crying, and I was like, yes, like this is so exciting. So that's how I booked it. I forgot the rest of your question.
It was just basically, just the run of the mill, what was the experience like, and now that you told us this bit, do you have like a victory lap, if you will? I've asked some of our guests
a victory stretch.
Yeah, like when you book a role, when you're excited, is there a victory meal? Is there, do you go out for drinks, or what do you do to celebrate?
That's a good question.
Some people actually had an answer,
hot dog and a hinge.
I should have one. I'll go out and get a hot dog. No, I think having a routine or like a ritual like that is really important, which is why I'm like a little surprised that I don't have one.
Well, now you probably will after this.
Yeah,
hey, get together, brainstorm.
Well, yeah, you said make some rhyme. I'm like, well, I feel like I make pad thai when I'm really excited. I'm like, let's just make some pad thai, or I'll like order pad thai, or
I might crazy.
go out for a drink or something.
There you go.
I guess it depends what it is too.
Yep.
Like what I
of
booked.
course.
Like if I've been trying to book, like if like this one getting, I can't remember if I celebrated, but I do remember like where I was.
Yeah.
But it is really important to celebrate. But like, yeah, if I was trying to break into video games, so you know, I might not cry if I get booked for a video game now, but I was so excited to finally get that first name roll, and I probably celebrated some way.
Because you're basically a staple in the franchise now. You know, no matter where it goes, it's had a lot of success in its opening years. So you are literally a staple.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. And
congratulations.
Holding all the papers
And
together.
D, I was gonna tag you. I was gonna tag off of that because you know, after Kelly had asked the question, and I wanted to ask you, Kelly, you know, because you said you didn't know that the game was gonna blow up. That's something that we've heard from a lot of our guests that have been in Genshin Impact. Do you have any interesting fan stories?
Interesting fan stories.
Because you voiced Amber, like, you know, have you been to any cons or been to any places? And
yes, I actually just went to my first con in January.
Nice, congrats.
Thank you. It was very exciting. I went to Anime Impulse out here near Los Angeles, and it was so fun. I had done some like online signings throughout the year, which I think it was interesting to start doing the online ones first, because a lot of people that I was doing it with, they had been to cons, so they kind of knew what they were doing online. I don't know.
Were you doing it with Streamly?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was doing the online signings with Streamly, and they're great. But I actually think that was a really great way for me to do it, because I was like, okay, I need this is like my checklist of things, but to do it virtually, you know, maybe your checklist is like this long, and then going to a con in person, my checklist was like this long. So I felt like doing the online ones helped me get my bearings, because I went to Anime Impulse in person in January, and I was, in a good way, so overwhelmed, and I was absolutely exhausted. And I was only there one day. Some people were there for both days, all weekend, and it was exhausting. But I had such a good time. There's actually one person, I think I saw it in the photos of me behind you, which I didn't. I was like, wow, those are on me.
Oh, snap. When did those get there?
Oh my, I don't know.
I'm just noticing it myself.
That photo with the car.
I'm somewhat of a scientist myself.
Somebody like put amber all over their car.
Wow.
It's in the photo behind.
Wow.
Oh, it was just behind you. But I saw that and I was like,
yeah, she's a pretty well-known character. I
was so, I've never seen that before. I like signed his console. Like, it was really, really cool.
Yeah.
Meeting the fans in person, you know, okay, rewind.
Hey, we like to rewind around here. We like to rewind.
Do the rewind. Okay, hey, you're one of us. You're one of the cool kids.
So, like, doing it online, it's just me talking. I see people comment, right? Like if I was live streaming on like Instagram or TikTok, people can comment, but it is quiet. I am filling the time. I'm not like bouncing off in normal conversation, right? Like this. And going and meeting people in person was so much fun. I am a people person, so I really jive with somebody else's energy. I had a fan give me a Baron Bunny plush, which was so cute. I had other fans, they would like draw something and give it to me, or like they made some like digital art and printed it, and I made them sign it because I was like, you're the artist. You what? And people were just so lovely and so nice, and I was overwhelmed with like I know that the game is big, but like seeing people in person and they're like, oh my God, I love your cat. Like, I had never experienced that before. And that was very, very exciting.
It's crazy because it's like, you know, I'm pretty sure if you were to meet the actress who voiced Sailor Venus, you know, it would be the same thing. You know, and then that's crazy too, because it's two actresses who voice Sailor Venus, because you got the original Deep Sailor Moon, and then you got the redub that Viz is doing. So yeah, I mean, you know, it's always an awesome moment, and I'm actually quite surprised because, you know, we've been talking now for almost an hour, and you haven't broke out in the song or anything. And I know that you like to sing.
Ask my husband. I do it every other. So I try to contain myself in a professional setting. But yes, I make songs out of everything. I do a lot of like parody songs.
Oh, I do the same thing. That's so weird.
Yes,
This
yes.
guy.
Yeah.
Hey, I sing the song from Mulan almost every day.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I do.
I sing We Don't Talk About Bruno all the time.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
But you don't change the words though. You got to change the words.
no,
Yeah, you got to change the
we
words
don't
to
talk
like
about
whatever
Mike.
you're talking about. Oh, you don't talk about what?
We don't talk about Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, be careful for Michael.
You don't want to know who he is.
Yeah, we ain't gonna go down that road.
All right.
Your husband's name isn't Michael, is it?
No,
We don't
Michael.
want you to be recording. And like, what's that noise outside?
Yeah, you see the trench coat flapping in the wind across
And
the
you hear
street?
the laugh, the reverb laugh in the background.
I've been waiting a long time.
Yeah, I was gonna ask: is your husband in the field too? Like, is he a theater kid or?
That's a good. You guys have such good questions.
I thought you were going to be like, that's a secret.
No, it's not a
I
secret.
thought
It's not
Trav
a
got us canceled.
no, it's not a secret. No, my husband, he was a music kid. So we met in college and he was in the music department. He is in a pop punk band, which is unbiasedly very good. And
Oh, shout him out.
I love it.
Cold
What's the name
Weather
of the
Kids.
band?
Cold Weather Kids, not Cold War
Nice.
Kids. Not
Yes.
no.
Cold Weather Kids.
Cold Weather Kids, because
Ooh,
they're
I
all
love
from
me
like
some pop punk.
yes. Oh,
Yeah.
you're gonna love them. I will email you their Spotify.
Hell yeah.
But they so he's in a band and he was in a different band in Chicago. We lived in Chicago. And he was pursuing music, and then he also wanted to produce music and be an audio engineer in music specifically. So he started to get into that, but around the same time that I was getting into voiceover. And fun fact that I am not proud of, my husband recorded my auditions for 2 years because I didn't figure it out. So that's he helped me get into that. And he's like, oh, I actually really like this. Maybe I could do it in music. So we were doing that at the same time. And then it kind of, we kind of came to the point where we were like, okay, well, if we're going to keep pursuing these interests, we need to move out of Chicago. We either need to be in LA or Nashville for music, or we need to be in LA or New York for voiceover. And so we were like, oh, well, in a Venn diagram, LA is the common ground. So we moved here, and he was working in the music industry. And then he in the last year or so, he moved over into post-production. So he was working at an audiobook company and working at a studio that I've actually recorded at. And then it's funny that you asked that. He is literally in the middle of a career transition right now. So he is leaving the audio world and he is going into coding.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Yes.
That's
So
awesome.
I guess it uses the same part of your brain, and he's really excited about it, and I'm really proud of him. But he's also still my in-house engineer and always will be. So I'm very lucky when it comes to that.
Hey, well, we're not going to be able to move along. Hey, you got to give your husband a shout out.
Oh, he's great. His name's Adam. And I love him, and he's great. Listen to Cold Weather Kids.
Yeah.
They're on Spotify.
Cold Weather Kids.
Oh yeah,
Cold
I'm
Weather
on it
Kids.
tomorrow.
Hey, we'll make sure that we'll include the link in this video, so that way everybody that
Yay!
watches it,
Yeah,
Okay,
for
great.
sure.
Great.
For sure.
They're really talented. They really are.
Yeah.
So
He plays guitar and he sings.
Dope.
nice. That's awesome. That's
Dope.
awesome.
Yes.
So my next question for you is when you're not behind
that's
the
that
microphone-
Pirates of the Caribbean. That R right there.
But my next question is when you're not behind the microphone, what are some of your hobbies that you're into?
My biggest hobby, I guess you could call it, I'm a dog mom. My dog is the love of my life. And he actually just had pretty major surgery 2.5 weeks ago. So, I've been helping him recover. But before that, we would go hiking and we'd go to the park. And I spend all of my time snuggling him. But I also really love traveling. I know a lot of people say that, but a lot of us do love traveling. So it's been hard, obviously, the past couple of years to travel. The the last time I went out of the country was for our honeymoon. Actually, we went to Thailand for 3 weeks, which was amazing.
Wow.
Jeez.
Actually, the first time I recorded for Genshin, I had a session the day before I went to Thailand. They were like, "Do you have any like big things coming up?" I was like, "No, we can work around it. It's fine." Got the job figured out later.
That's right.
And so, but we like to on weekend trips too. Like, we love drinking wine. I'm a big wino. And so, not to sound weird, but I like to responsibly drink on the weekends.
Yeah.
And
Get you some of that Mad Dog 40/40 or 20/20.
Oh God.
The good stuff.
Oh
my
yeah, right.
goodness.
The basement
Ridiculous.
stuff.
So yeah, we'll take like weekend trips to like San Diego or any other wine country. And I'm in a book club actually, so I read a lot and I cook a lot. I don't know. That all sounds really boring, but it takes up a lot of my time. So
you don't have a show you like to binge watch that you want to mention?
Oh my God, yes. One of my favorite shows, and I don't know if any of you have seen it. I would
Vampire Diaries.
love. No, I've actually never seen that. Also, never seen that. I should. Okay.
See,
Again, I have a lot to catch up on. So I love Gilmore Girls.
The G squared.
No, Trav's got you covered.
Gilmore Girl.
Trav
Of
loves
course.
Gilmore Girl. Yeah.
I thought you were going to mention it.
I love it. I just rewatched all of it in the fall. I love it so much. It reminds me, I used to watch it with my best friend from home. My mom and I used to watch it. I love New England and it's so great. Even my husband was like, oh, he would watch that show. And then I was rewatching it and he's like, this actually might be the best show on television. And I was like, well, it's not on television anymore, but I understand what you mean.
Yeah.
But yes.
Actually, it hasn't been on television for like 15 years. I get what you're saying.
yes, exactly. I watch a lot of documentaries actually. And what else? I don't know. That's all I can think of.
All right. It's all right.
But yeah, like I said, if you ask me if I've seen stuff, my answer will probably be no. We should do that. Can you ask me a few? You're like, you would have seen this, Kelly.
Have you seen Weekend at Bernie's?
Yes. Whoa. Okay. Well, you got me on that one, but try another one. I'll probably say no.
All right, Trav.
Try another one. Man, that's hard.
This is where we are.
What are we doing?
I'm gonna go to theater. I'm gonna go to theater route and say, have you seen like theater Hollywood theater? Have you seen Cats? The new Cats.
The bad one?
No, it's not bad, sir. It might be the greatest thing of all time.
The bad one. Is that the one people were talking about?
It's something you need to watch. It is an experience.
Should I put Cats above anime?
No.
Yes.
Never.
No.
Yes.
No, we don't talk about cats. No.
Oh yes, good job. Yes, that was amazing.
Thank you.
We don't talk about cats.
I don't know what Trav is trying to do.
You gotta add in the meow.
Yeah, you gotta add in the Rebel Wilson butthole, cat butthole too.
God. And the roaches that
Oh my God.
Look, don't watch it.
Should I really watch this? Okay. All right.
Ask her
Conflicting
something
information.
that she hasn't seen.
It really is incredible.
Old movie or just
Anything.
A movie where like kind of like we were talking earlier, like Harry Potter.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna. This one is an action movie, so I don't know if you've seen it or not. But have you seen the original Tears of the Sun?
Not only have I not seen it, I have never heard of it.
Yeah, I've never heard of it either.
There's a remake?
No, wrong one, Trav. I was mixing it up. I was thinking of Red Dawn. Is what I was going to ask, but I mean, there are so many of them. Yeah, Red Dawn.
Also negative.
Both incredible. Though.
Both incredible, and the first one does not have a remake.
Can you include this in the email?
Yeah, she gonna turn on. This is an anime.
That's a pretty lengthy email we're getting.
Hey, her list is about to be as long as mine.
Santa's list. Hey, Banks. No, it's not.
Yes, it is. I mean, I think it is, man. I really do.
But the difference is you missed a lot of movies that you should have seen. She's just new to anime.
I mean, she has too.
There's a difference. Nah.
No, I also haven't seen movies either. Like I've actually spent the last few years catching up on movies and TV shows that I haven't seen.
D, you can't defend. I mean, like me and her were in the same boat. Like she
No.
said, we're on the
It's
same train.
unfortunate. Me and
Well,
Trav.
I gotta ask, are y'all big on pop punk? Is that what y'all listen to?
Oh yeah, there you go, Trav. Good segue.
Me?
What,
Music-wise.
what we got for bands here?
Whoa.
Trav said, "What am I working with?"
And what am I working with here?
Okay. Kind of like earlier, you asked, what genre am I looking for? I listen to a lot of different genres, and I know people, I listen to
coming from
everything.
Tennessee, it's Music City.
Well, yes, I will say I did not start listening to country music until 2 years ago.
Well, Banks don't listen to country music.
None of that.
It's not allowed.
Jimmy
Not
Buffett?
true.
It's not allowed.
If
I
I'm
like
out somewhere and they're playing country music, I'll
I think
listen to it.
I think
But I
it's
don't go out of my
different.
way to listen to it.
I agree. I think it's different when you live. Like I was living in the South, and I was just inundated with country music, and I was
True.
like, "Oh, I don't
Very
like this."
true.
And then I moved out of the South, and I don't hear it anymore.
Yeah, where you
And
can pick and choose.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So I was actually listening to the radio, like just the local radio, and I was looking for music, and the country station popped up, and I was like, all right, I'm kind of into it. So, so I have started listening to a little bit of that, which it's so fun. I have listened to a lot of indie music. Like I grew up listening to like Death Cab for Cutie, and
Good band.
yes, love me some Ben Gibbard. And I did listen to pop punk like Blink-182, Yellow Card, The Killers. Like
when it first came out.
Killers.
Oh
listen.
man.
Glory.
Oh my god, I love
Simple
The Killers.
Plan.
Mhm.
Yes. Did you say Newfound Glory? Is that?
Yeah,
course.
yeah. Like
G for life.
okay, yeah.
What about
Yes.
Dashboard Confessional?
Oh my god, I love Dashboard Confessional. That's probably like a
You
good
feel
chunk
vindicated?
of why I married my husband. I was like, oh wow, you're a musician. Wow. Obviously, I
all it
listened. Yeah, right. Yeah, I had a problem. But I obviously listened to musicals. Oh my god, I feel like you guys are really gonna make fun of me for this.
We're waiting to laugh, so go ahead.
I'm
You
not gonna
should.
laugh.
You
I'm just
should. You
kidding.
know what?
No.
I'm proud. You should laugh
Go ahead.
though. I expect it. I love love Jimmy Buffett.
Oh yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
I called it. That man was serious.
See, I'm just
I love it.
I kind of grew up in Florida for a number
Me
of
too.
years, and
Where?
I get Key West,
Ooh.
and yeah,
You
Jimmy
understand
Buffett
that.
was the man in Key West, and
He's the
I
man
guess
in
it's
Florida.
similar to your country stuff, where it's like, yeah, I'm good on the Jimmy Buffett.
Mhm.
you know?
Yes, I will say it's the only Christmas album I listen to.
Plus,
Yeah.
his
Jimmy Buffett.
his restaurant Cheeseburgers in Paradise is hot garbage around here in Virginia Beach.
Oh,
All
that's
right, well, I won't talk
restaurant?
about
Terrible.
Margaritaville, the restaurant.
What is it? It's not. Is it?
Is it still there, Trav? The one out at
No,
Lynnhaven, right?
it's shut down.
What,
It was out
what
at
the
Lynnhaven,
The one over in
right?
Lynnhaven.
It was
Yeah.
called Cheeseburger Paradise, right?
Yeah, Cheeseburgers in Paradise. It's
Yeah,
a play on
Margaritaville?
their song.
Yeah.
No, there's not a Margaritaville over here now.
Oh.
Mm-mm.
I didn't know that. Was
I
his
forgot about
place.
that place till you
Yeah,
mentioned
that's
it,
Jimmy
Trav, to be
Buffett's
honest.
restaurant.
Yeah, I mean, it was there for like a couple. I had went there one time. I mean,
It was
okay.
bad. It was bad.
Yeah.
I believe.
Well, I will not comment on his restaurants because
Yeah. But his
I'm here for
music?
the music. Both
Right
my
on.
parents love Jimmy Buffett, and they went to school in Florida. I also grew up a little bit in Florida, and that hence where that comes from. But whenever I say Jimmy Buffett, people are like, "Oh, Jimmy Buffett, why?" And I'm like, you know what? To each their own. I'll listen to Jimmy Buffett, and you don't have to.
I also just discovered the Anastasia musical. And if you have not listened to that soundtrack,
I haven't, but I love the movie.
get on it immediately.
Man,
Get on
hey.
it. It is fire.
Click it.
When I was a kid, I felt like I was the only person who knew what Anastasia was.
I used to watch it on
Really?
repeat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good movie,
Love it.
man.
We watched it in school. So, I
Mhm.
mean,
That was a good movie.
Because of the
didn't watch it
educational
until, like, you
purposes.
said,
because of the
on HBO.
education.
I know. We know.
Oh, Lord. But no, I got one more question for you because I know
Yeah.
we're headed towards wrapping it up.
Yeah.
And we've had like voice actors on here before where they were sent like free video games or something for what they voiced on. Let me ask you, did you get like a free Brita? Did you get like a free subscription to HelloFresh? Have you ever gotten anything for lending your voice to something?
I'm thinking really hard before I say this.
Well, land you in hot water.
I'm about to play that Jeopardy music.
No.
No. Nope.
No, I have not received anything. I would love a free subscription to HelloFresh.
Yeah, we'll make a phone call. We'll handle it.
Excuse me, HelloFresh.
Trav knows Dwayne Johnson. He got
That's right. I know DJ. So we'll get this thing. I'll send you some rock toast with some Terramana.
And you know, Olive Garden, you know, they sponsor, so I'll send you some breadsticks. We got you.
Mm-hmm. I love breadsticks. No, but that's funny though. Like people, that is a question people ask me a lot. And I'm like, can I work on these projects? I want some free video game, like you know, or product, or that would be.
Oh, it's
really
who you know.
fun.
It's who you know.
It's who you know.
That's right.
That's why I'm hooking you up with the breadsticks.
More people. Thank you. I do love breadsticks.
Hey, I mean, a lot of the voice actors that we've had up here, I'm hooking them up. I don't know when it's going to be coming your way, but
just keep an eye out for some old box of breadsticks. You see them 2 dogs.
I'm glad you talked about patience because you're gonna need plenty of it waiting on these breadsticks.
just add water.
Hey, when we interviewed Evan Michael Lee, hey, I know it's gonna be a lot of people that's gonna be waiting in that alley for me, and they're gonna be like, "Banks, where are our breadsticks at?" And
you know, in The Force Awakens, have you ever seen Star Wars?
Yes, I'm really bad. I'm really bad with like names though. Like which
Force
Star
Awakens
Wars
is the seventh movie, the first of the new trilogy.
The first of the new. Okay, yeah,
with Daisy Ridley, and she has it like she's got the water and she puts the powder in there and it makes a loaf of bread. I'm like, that's the breadsticks right there. Just put the packet in the water. We got your breadsticks.
Amazing. I would love that.
Easy bake oven, right there.
Oh my god, I loved Easy Bake Oven.
Creepy crawlers.
Oh god, I remember those.
That's right.
I always wanted an Easy Bake Oven.
Oh, I had one.
You should get one now.
I mean, it's I could get one now. I mean, well, I don't really need one now because it's like, I actually can cook now. But I remember like when I was a kid and I would see those commercials, I was like, man, these little girls, they're sitting here making cakes and cookies and all.
It was so fun.
I was sitting here eating cakes and cookies, so you missed out, bro.
Yeah. Well, do y'all remember there was a McDonald's toy too, where it's like you can make your own French fries and ice cream. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And remember the Play-Doh sets? The Play-Doh sets would be like you can make your own McDonald's French fry. You weren't supposed to eat
those though.
You can't eat those. That's right.
What do you mean you can't eat those?
Yeah, because I remember with the McDonald's toy, it was just like if you put like a slice of bread in there, it would turn into French fries.
Well, I heard if you eat them, you develop like Vocaloids.
Oh.
And so maybe that's what happened.
Maybe.
Although Play-Doh fries.
Oh god.
I will say that Easy Bake Oven was one of my favorite toy. Is it a toy if it like actually works? I don't know. I loved it.
Homegrown.
Loved it.
Home economics.
Home economics. Do you still got it?
No. I wish. I'm pretty sure I only got rid of it because it was not working. Right. If it was still working, I never would have gotten rid of it.
Not built to last, that's for sure.
I feel you on that, man. Hey, my granddad got me an Atari when I was a kid, and it stopped working. And
what are you gonna do?
Away. I wish I would have never threw it away. I was a kid. Hey, look, I had to say
Land of Forgotten Toys.
I was like your boy Andy in Toy Story. As soon as he got Buzz Lightyear, he said, "Woody, I don't need you anymore."
Dropped him.
Bing bong.
Hey, are there 2 dogs outside right now? Because I know you are a dog mom.
Are there 2 dogs?
Yeah.
No, just the one.
Just the one.
It's just the one dog. So that means that you're not upstairs.
We going hard in the closet though.
Yeah.
No, I really want to get my dog a dog though. So he can have his own dog.
So then you had those 2. You'll have those 2 dogs. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I would love more than 2 dogs.
101 Dalmatians.
So you would like to have one dog, one for the road, one for the home, right?
Oh yeah. Like, don't tempt me with a good time. Like, I would take all of those dogs. Yes, 1,000%. Working on it. I'll
hit up my dog Charlie because he's up in heaven right now, and
this guy.
All dogs go to heaven, and he'll send some dogs your way.
You seen that one, huh, Banks?
Yeah,
hey, you seen the second one though?
Hey, it felt like that movie was everywhere back in the day.
Did you know that there's like 20 Land Before Time movies?
Of course, I think there's actually 16 There's 16 of them.
Yeah, it got
Did
close.
not know that.
Yeah, it's a bunch of them.
movies.
So should I add that to my list also before the anime?
No, just the first one.
No,
First
no,
one's
that's-
all you need.
Okay, I've seen the first Land Before Time.
Everybody's seen the first one. You know, so I'm surprised that they never introduced cavemen in it. You know what I'm saying? I think that would have
Yeah.
Sponsored by Geico.
but hey, we're here at the end of the episode, and when we get to the end, D always has his famous questions that he likes to wrap the podcast up with, and
you ready?
This is more of something that you've seen, rather than us just asking what you haven't seen. So D, passing the ball to you, bro.
I got it. Okay, so at the end of the episode, question number 1, excluding musicals, favorite 80s or 90s movie?
The Lost Boys.
Oh, good movie.
1,000%.
Right,
1,000%.
Oh, yeah, that was
1,000%.
easy.
Do you guys
Great
remember
movie.
Tumblr?
Oh, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, when I had Tumblr, like my name on Tumblr was like,
Uh-huh.
or my blog or whatever it was called, it was
Right.
Death by Stereo.
Hell yeah.
Love it.
That's
I
a
love The
classic.
Lost Boys so much. I saw it for the first time in Colorado at the Red Rocks Amphitheater, and I was like,
Man,
why?
That's a dream. That's like a dream venue that I want to go to. I
Oh,
gotta
it's
experience
beautiful.
the Red Rocks.
Trav, you could
beautiful.
take the helicopter there.
I could take the chopper.
Uh-huh.
You know,
I recommend watching a vampire movie in the amphitheater. It was great.
Well, my question for you then is, did you know that tumblers are better than rumblers?
Trav, I thought you were going to
Yes.
ask her if she's seen The Lost Boys 2 and The Lost Boys 3.
Oh, we definitely don't talk about 3.
Yeah, 3 is hot. How you say it, Trav? Hot garbage.
Garbage. That's right.
Yeah, we don't. I wouldn't
Rumblers
even
better than
ask that.
rumblers, though. Just keep it in mind.
Now, second question. This may be the same. You cannot answer. New rule. You cannot answer with the same answer twice.
Okay, great.
Growing up, was there anything that really scared you, spooked you? Movie, soundtrack, character from a show that really stuck with you?
Yes. Does it have to be from my childhood?
Is it Chuck?
No, just growing up. Period.
Okay.
I
Okay.
could have seen it.
I think she's trying to say
ago and
this
be
is
like,
an
man,
adult
I can't shake
thing.
it. Oh God. Oh well. Yes.
Yes. I will only say because I watched a horror movie last night, so it came to mind. So it wasn't from my childhood, but
I hope it wasn't this new Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
no. It was not that.
Oof.
Paranormal Activity.
Okay.
I have not been able to sleep the same since, and I saw it in 2009.
The
saw it
first
in
one,
theaters.
right?
The
Yeah.
Do you think I've seen the other ones? I had sleeping problems for 6 months. I still can't sleep with my leg outside of the covers. Like, it's terrifying. Where they like grab the leg and like she just dragged down. I blocked out the entire movie except for that scene. So yes, that I know I was 18 when I saw it, but it has lived with me for over a decade. So that was terrifying.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I love
Pretty damn
found
spooky.
footage films. So
I like found footage, but that was just no movie has ever stuck with me in such a terrifying way.
It's pretty
so-
spooky.
I was gonna say for me it was Blair Witch because you really believed it was real versus when Paranormal Activity came out, it's like
No, I
we know
believed it
it's
was real.
fake. You know? Yeah, I know,
No, I
but what's
believed
it
it was
called
real.
for me? I'm like, they already duped me once with Blair Witch. They're not getting me again.
You know what? I actually didn't see Blair Witch until after I saw Paranormal Activity. I wish that
they fooled the world. Yeah,
They
they tricked America.
Yeah. Ooh, those are really good. You guys are so good at asking questions. I feel like I've said that like 17 times. But
Hey, look, that's what we do
That's
up
what
here.
we do.
I
It's a
lead the
skill,
train,
you know. We
and,
put it on the resume.
Yes.
Mhm.
you
That's
should.
what we do here.
You should.
Banks, take it away, man.
Hey, yeah, Kelly, thank you so much for joining us up here, man. We really appreciate you joining us. And before we let you go, let everybody in social media land know where they can find you.
You can find me kind of on all socials. Kelly I can't talk. At Kelly Baskin VO. So Kelly Baskin like Baskin Robbins no relation to
Carol
Baskin Robbins or Carol. Okay, yes. No.
Hey, when you said like that, I thought you were
We
going to be
thought
like
you were going to
Carol
show up with the
Baskin.
cheetahs.
You said Baskin Robbins.
No, I do say it because I've always said that, right? Like Baskin Robbins has been around longer. Also remember Carol Baskin married into that name, but even so, no relation. For everybody who's gonna comment. Yes. So I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I'm new to Twitch. So I'm like dipping my toe into streaming. But
Nice.
everywhere is Kelly Baskin VO.
Awesome.
Next time you're on Twitch, we gonna hop on. We gonna come support.
Like maybe
hell
tomorrow night.
We'll be there. Be there. Be square.
Be there, be square.
Mhm.
Meet me at the train tracks, right, Trav?
Hey, that's right.
Yes.
But yeah,
Well,
but
thank
Kelly-
you so much for having me. You all are
Hell
so
yeah.
lovely and wonderful, and like I said, you ask really great questions. This
Thanks.
has been so great.
We appreciate that, and I know we usually hear that after the interview is over, but we appreciate you saying that while the interview is still going on, because it
Now
makes
the
us
world
feel
can hear
loved.
it.
You know what I'm saying?
You know how he
It's
is.
true.
man.
Yeah, no, it's been such a pleasure hanging out with you guys.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So,
Hell
but
yeah.
don't leave just yet, because we've had that
Why
happen
not?
before.
We got
No,
more in
I'm
store.
not leaving. No.
Okay, it felt like he was about to be one of those. All right, I'll see y'all later.
Bye. No.
Hey, we've had it happen before, but yeah, like I said, thank you again for joining us. Trav, let everybody in social media land know where they can find you at.
That's right. You can find me on Instagram at ZK Audio. I'm also on the Twitter at TRAVIOSZK, where I'm also on Letterboxd, ranking and rating my daily movie watches. I watched Texas Chainsaw, the remake on Netflix, and your boy gave it a hot 2 thumbs down. D.
Ooh, yeah, I'll take it from there.
Where they gonna find the Spider Punks at?
You can find me at rebellious_D23 at Instagram.com. And Banks, if they need a hero, where can they find one? Only a hero can save.
Well, I wasn't sure if you were pulling out the skillet or if you were pulling out the Nickelback and
Yeah, no.
that's why I didn't
God.
know which way he was.
Hey, I
Yeah.
know. I like to leave y'all a mystery. Now, Banks,
But,
tell them.
Hey, you can find me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, at KingBenji_Banks on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me on Facebook at Benjamin Banks. I should be the first person to pop up. If not, then I need to contact Mr. Zuckerberg. Thank you again, everybody, for watching this interview. Make sure that you check out some more of our interviews that we have here on the channel, along with reviews, reaction videos, podcasts with brand new episodes every Tuesday. The link is down in the description. Like I always say, keep that pinky up, stay positive, and happy International Women's Month. We'll see you next time on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Peace.
Thanks again, everybody, for watching another episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe to the channel. Podcast, we got that too. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and hit that bell for further episodes and notifications. Thanks a lot to our patrons. And if you don't mind, join the Patreon. We'll be having new specials coming up soon.